Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and relax.
Jonny Metheny has become something of a guinea pig for experimental prosthetics.
Hand open.
What he's testing here being the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory, is a glimpse into the future of how humans and machines interact. It's a mind-controlled arm that attaches directly to his skeleton. And it's the result of a decade of work and $120 million of military funding.
So this is the first time that we're attaching a prosthetic device to an implant that protrudes out of his skin and allows the prosthesis to actually be physically attached to his skeleton.
Okay, elbow extend, elbow bend. I had a problem with all the arms that I was working with. I was having skin breakdown on the stump. With osseointegration, you don't have to worry about suction on the stump. You connect directly to the implant, and so therefore, you can continue wearing it, no matter what.
Jonny's implant allows for more strength and mobility, but maybe more impressive is he can control the arm with his thoughts. For this, he had to undergo another surgery to rearrange the nerves from his missing arm.
All right, so we'll just start with no movement. Ready? Let's pronate. Supinate. Go.
We are actually witnessing something that has never been done before, is Jonny really controlling that limb simply by thinking about it with normal intuitive thought. We are using wireless myobands to transmit that muscle activity. So now when he thinks of moving his missing limb, it now contracts those newly reinnervated muscles.
Elbow flexion, ready, and go. Hand open, and go. Wrist rotate in, and go. Ready, and go, and go, and go.
It's hard. Yeah, I've done hundreds of thousands of hours of mental exercises, just trying to do the different grips, bends, rotations, points, pinch. So anyone that, right after the surgery, they think they can step right back into it and, just start working it. I mean, you're in for a rude awakening. It takes a lot of time.
You wanna hand that to me?
Getting Jonny to communicate with the arm is only half the challenge. The ultimate goal is for the arm to talk back to Jonny. Soon, he'll be able to feel how hard or soft something is, to understand its texture and even its temperature. As he moves forward, Jonny represents a future where robotics goes from being a tool we use to actually becoming a part of us.
I want the ultimate arm. I want it to be as near natural as a human arm as possible. You trust me?
Yes.
Handshake me. How you doing?
Good.
Good to meet you. I'm like the Model T of cars, or I'm the Wright brothers of airplanes. I'm the beginning. And as we progress, then you're going to see us finally move up to the Maseratis or these supersonic jets. So we're going to say, Back to the Future has begun.
Designers are growing novel technologies, not foreseen or anticipated by nature. Bionics explores the interplay between biology and design. As you can see, my legs are bionic. Today, I will tell human stories of bionic integration, how electromechanics attached to the body and implanted inside the body are beginning to bridge the gap between disability and ability, between human limitation and human potential. Bionics has defined my physicality. In 1982, both of my legs were amputated due to tissue damage from frostbite incurred during a mountain climbing accident. At that time, I didn't view my body as broken. I reasoned that a human being can never be broken. Technology is broken. I made my height adjustable. I could be as short as 5 feet or as tall as I'd like. So when I was feeling badly about myself, insecure, I would jack my height up. But when I was feeling confident and suave, I would knock my height down a notch just to give the competition a chance. Narrow wedge feet allow me to climb steep rock fissures where the human foot cannot penetrate, and spiked feet enabled me to climb vertical ice walls without ever experiencing muscle leg fatigue. Through technological innovation, I returned to my sport stronger and better. Technology had eliminated my disability and allowed me a new climbing prowess. As a young man, I imagined a future world where technology so advanced could rid the world of disability, a world in which neural implants would allow the visually impaired to see, a world in which the paralyzed could walk via body exoskeletons. Sadly, because of deficiencies in technology, disability is rampant in the world. This gentleman is missing 3 limbs. As a testimony to current technology, he is out of the wheelchair, but we need to do a better job in bionics to allow one day full rehabilitation for a person with this level of injury. At the MIT Media Lab, we've established the Center for Extreme Bionics. The mission of the center is to put forth fundamental science and technological capability that will allow the biomechatronic and regenerative repair of humans across a broad range of brain and body disabilities. Today, I'm going to tell you how my legs function, how they work, as a kind of case in point for this center. Now, I made sure to shave my legs last night because I knew I'd be showing them off. To achieve that mirroring, we first developed a mathematical model of my biological limb. To that end, we use imaging tools such as MRI to look inside my body to figure out the geometries and locations of various tissues. We also took robotic tools. Here's a 14-actuator circle that goes around the biological limb. The actuators come in, find the surface of the limb, measure its unloaded shape, and then they push on the tissues to measure tissue compliances at each anatomical point. We combine these imaging and robotic data to build a mathematical description of my biological limb, shown on the left. You see a bunch of points or nodes. At each node, there's a color that represents tissue compliance. We then do a mathematical transformation to the design of the synthetic skin, shown on the right. And we've discovered optimality is where the body is stiff, the synthetic skin should be soft. Where the body is soft, the synthetic skin is stiff. And this mirroring occurs across all tissue compliances. With this framework, we produce bionic limbs that are the most comfortable limbs I've ever worn. Clearly, in the future, our clothing, our shoes, our braces, our prostheses will no longer be designed and manufactured using artisan strategies, but rather data-driven quantitative frameworks. In that future, our shoes will no longer give us blisters. We're also embedding sensing and smart materials into the synthetic skins. This is a material developed by SRI International, California. Under electrostatic effect, it changes stiffness. So under 0 voltage, the material is compliant. It's like floppy like paper. Then the button's pushed, the voltage is applied, and it becomes stiff as a board. We embed this material into the synthetic skin that attaches my bionic limb to my biological body. When I walk here, it's no voltage. My interface is soft and compliant. The button's pushed, voltage is applied, and it stiffens, offering me a greater maneuverability of the bionic limb. We're also building exoskeletons. This exoskeleton becomes stiff and soft in just the right areas of the running cycle to protect the biological joints from high impacts and degradation. In the future, we'll all be wearing exoskeletons in such common activities such as running. Next, dynamic interface. How do my bionic limbs move like flesh and bone? At my MIT lab, we've studied how humans with normal physiologies stand, walk, and run. What are the muscles doing, and how are they controlled by the spinal cord? This basic science motivates what we build. We're building bionic ankles, knees, and hips. We're building body parts from the ground up. The bionic limbs that I'm wearing are called biomes. They've been fitted to nearly 1,000 patients, 400 of which have been US wounded soldiers. How does it work? At heel strike under computer control, the system controls stiffness to attenuate the shock of the limb hitting the ground. Then at mid-stance, the bionic limb outputs high torques and powers to lift the person into the walking stride, comparable to how muscles work in the calf region. This bionic propulsion is very important clinically to patients. So on the left, you see the bionic device worn by a lady. On the right, a passive device worn by the same lady that fails to emulate normal muscle function, enabling her to do something everyone should be able to do, go up and down their steps at home. Bionics also allows for extraordinary athletic feats. Here's a gentleman running up a rocky pathway. This is Steve Martin, not the comedian, who lost his legs in a bomb blast in Afghanistan. We're also building exoskeletal structures using these same principles that wrap around a biological limb. This gentleman does not have any leg condition, any disability. He has a normal physiology. So these exoskeletons are applying muscle-like torques and powers so that his own muscles need not apply those torques and powers. This is the first exoskeleton in history that actually augments human walking. It significantly reduces metabolic cost. It's so profound in its augmentation that when a normal, healthy person wears the device for 40 minutes and then takes it off, their own biological legs feel ridiculously heavy and awkward. We're beginning the age in which machines attached to our bodies will make us stronger and faster and more efficient. Moving on to electrical interface. How do my bionic limbs communicate with my nervous system? Across my residual limb are electrodes that measure the electrical pulse of my muscles. That's communicated to the bionic limb. So when I think about moving my phantom limb, the robot tracks those movement desires. This diagram shows fundamentally how the bionic limb is controlled. So we model the missing biological limb, and we've discovered what reflexes occurred, how the reflexes of the spinal cord are controlling the muscles. And that capability is embedded in the chips of the bionic limb. What we've done then is we modulate the sensitivity of the reflex, the modeled spinal reflex, with the neural signal. So when I relax my muscles, in my residual limb, I get very little torque and power. But the more I fire my muscles, the more torque I get, and I can even run. And that was the first demonstration of a running gait under neural command. Feels great. We want to go a step further. We want to actually close the loop between the human and the bionic external limb. We're doing experiments where we're growing nerves, transected nerves, through channels or microchannel rays. On the other side of the channel, the nerve then attaches to cells, skin cells and muscle cells. In the channels of motor channels, we can sense how the person wishes to move. That can be sent out wirelessly to the bionic limb. And then sensors on the bionic limb can be converted to stimulations in adjacent channels, sensory channels. So when this is fully developed and for human use, persons like myself will not only have synthetic limbs that move like flesh and bone, but actually feel like flesh and bone. This video shows Lisa Millette shortly after being fitted with 2 bionic limbs. Indeed, bionics is making a profound difference in people's lives.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's just like I've got a real leg. Now don't start running.
Now turn around and do the same thing walking up. Walk up, get on your heel to toe like you would normally just walk on level ground. Try to walk right up the hill.
Oh my God.
They're pushing you up?
Yes, I'm not even, I can't even describe it.